Our esteemed city manager has completed his long journey down from the 13th floor, so Mr. Manager, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Sorry for the delay. On page one, just have one item under awards, and then you have five people on the public agenda. On page two, number one, for new business at the bottom, towards the bottom, the first item is approving $1,870,000 in ARPA funding for the establishing a fire department operations center. Number two is approving the selection of UMR utilizing the United Healthcare Network to administer the city's healthcare program, RX benefits and Optum RX to address the city's prescription drug program, or administer, and then MetLife to provide the city's life insurance. Those are all part of a competitive selection process. On page three, number three, this is an ordinance amendment that would approve new provisions for yard signs during political campaign seasons. And the provisions are outlined in the council, or in the council report,
How long have we been working on this particular
I want to
item?
say probably a couple of months, at least 30, 45 days.
Okay, so.
In anticipation of election season coming.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Number one on non-consent planning agenda, this is a conditional use. This has a valid protest petition that's been submitted, so it'll require 6 votes for approval.
If anybody has any questions, let me know. Happy to respond.
Page 4, number 2, this is second item is a conditional use request as well. There's a difference between the MAPC and DAB recommendations. Number 3 is a zoning change, also a difference between MAPC and DAB, and that's why it's in front of you on non-consent. I don't have anything else on page 4, nothing on page 5. Page 6, number 3, or 3A, this is a little unusual, the only reason I'm highlighting it. This would approve an agreement that would release 54 acres of land from the Rural Water District number 4 and allow Wichita to serve this area. So all I got on 6, on page 7, number 7, this would approve a bid that is $16,000 over the engineer's estimate for the demolition of buildings at the water treatment plant as part of the BNR project. Number 8 would approve an agreement with Car Park to upgrade the equipment at City Hall parking lot. That's all I have on page 7. Page 8, just simply note that number 11 is approving the initiation of eminent domain for a small number of parcels involved in the West Street Improvement Project. And negotiations are continuing on those parcels, and we hope not to have to use eminent domain. That's all I have on page 8, nothing on page 9. And then on page 10, number 19, this would approve a grant application, allow for an adjustment to our budget adjustment guidelines, and then also, let me see, there's a third item here. Also approve a grant application for the equipment, the snow removal equipment storage building at Jabara. Mr. Vice Mayor, that's all I have.
Any questions for the city manager?
Bob, I got a couple on the email that we got from Dee this morning, and this is about the workshop that we have coming toward the end of the month.
Yes.
First off, can you refresh me on where we were at with the strategic media buying, brand marketing, and advertising services? I know we had the agenda here a couple months ago.
Right.
What was the follow-up item for the workshop?
The council asked at that time for it to come back for additional discussion at workshop. And so what we've done, actually Kathy Sexton, who's staffing the ethics board, advisory board, she has looked at what other cities are doing, is taking that information along with a legal opinion and then presenting that to the ethics board. And then the ethics board will have, I think, a presentation for you at the workshop. They haven't taken any action yet, Jeff, so I'm not quite sure what's going to come
Okay.
in front of you.
But you think they're gonna present, or somebody,
I
or
think
somebody
Kathy-
on their behalf?
I think Kathy
or
will
somebody?
present on their behalf.
Okay. And then also the campaign finance ordinance, what are we looking at there? And I guess I'm kind of asking the timing too, because we're in the middle of an election cycle right now.
Do you want to?
Yeah, I think we're not looking at anything for this campaign cycle. It'll be for future cycles. Mostly what we're looking at, of course, is going to be up for discussion, but corporate money, donations to our campaigns.
Why are we having a discussion now?
That's the workshop.
I know, but I guess I'm questioning the timing a little bit in the midst of an election. Why would
Well,
we-
it's always time to do the people's work, my opinion.
It's up, this one was not staff generated, so it's up to the council, in terms of what you want on a workshop, if that's the question. But Councilmember Hoheisel had asked for it to be on, or Vice Mayor, I'm sorry.
Okay, just with a full workshop, I was just curious why the timing.
Yeah, well, I wasn't aware of the full workshop at the time, but we had been talking about it for a couple of months now, so.
We can add ranked choice voting to it.
Yeah, there's a number of things, yeah.
That's a long workshop. I was just
We
playing.
workshopped that, didn't we?
Yeah, actually, we're working on follow-up from that
A year
workshop.
ago, yeah.
We were asked to do some more work on that. We're not ready yet.
We're gonna do that in the middle of a campaign too?
I mean, we could. It has nothing to do with elections. It's appointments, so really wouldn't have any impact.
Bob, at the workshop, since it's talking about campaign contributions, there are ramifications also above the city municipality level, the state level, right? Are we going to have subject matter experts from outside of our city legal in case we have questions?
Yeah, I've been asked to make sure that if possible, that we have somebody that understands, from the state, that understands state campaign, in
Okay.
case there's any questions on that.
I think that would be
And
very
I think
helpful.
Jennifer is working on that.
Okay,
making sure we
thank
have
you.
somebody.
Yeah. All right, any other questions for Bob? Any statements or anything going on this weekend you'd like to say for the good of the group?
Riverfest.
Yeah, my
like
niece
it's
will
rain.
not ride the rides with me anymore after last night going down there, so. We live a little wild down on the south side, I guess. All right, I don't believe we have a presentation today.
No, we do not.
Nope. All right, well, but there's nothing else. Thank you all. Get out to Riverfest and have a great weekend.